So I'm here with part 3 of my little series on being hypermobile but inflexible at the same time. So if you see my other 2 videos and you figured out this is you have joint hypermobility but you are inflexible and you're struggling to improve your flexibility. So what's happening, just to summarize, your joints are unstable, so your body is tightening up the muscles to try and get some extra stability for those joints. So essentially your muscles are trying to splint the joints. Now, if this is you, regular stretching really isn't going to work. It's only going to take your flexibility so far, and then you're going to hit a plateau very quickly. So what you want to know is, what can you do to improve your flexibility? There are 3 main things that I know as a dance physical therapist really help hypermobile people, dancers and other people, improve their flexibility. So the number 1 thing you can do with joint hypermobility is strength training. Now, a lot of people think this is counterintuitive. Surely strength training is going to make you tighter. This is absolutely not true. In any situation, strength training will not make you tighter. It might make you feel a little bit tighter in the short term if you've got a lot of muscle soreness. If you're new to strength training and your muscles feel a little bit sore because of it, you might feel tighter in the short term. But as soon as your body adapts to the strength training, in the long run, stronger muscles actually have better capacity to stretch, because if you think about it, your muscles are tight, they're clenching onto your joints, they're trying to splint themselves. But if you get your muscles stronger, the body then doesn't feel like it has to tighten up the muscles to be able to have the stability and strength that it needs. Now, there are tons of different ways you can strength train, so just find a way that works for you. Make sure you're targeting specifically those muscles that you do want to stretch, because those are the ones obviously that you need to be strong, but you also need the opposite muscle group. So for example, a lot of people are always trying to improve their hamstring flexibility. You need to make sure you're doing something to strength train your hamstrings, and also the opposite muscle group, which is the quadriceps. Okay, this will really, really help your flexibility training. If there's one thing you take away from this, is add strength training. This will also help with just that feeling of being chronically tight. Most hypermobile people will find that somewhere in their body, they just feel like they're always tight. They want to pop something, they want to crack something, they always want to stretch. Getting your muscles stronger will help settle that constant feeling of tightness. Number 2 is what we call end range isometric contractions. Now, I've done another video on this previously, but what this is rather than going into a stretch, you're actually going to contract the muscle at the same time as stretching it. So a good example of this, you want to improve your hamstring flexibility. So put your leg up onto a chair, keeping your back flat, hinge forward until you feel the stretch along the back of your leg. Very standard hamstring stretch. Now, instead of just hanging out and relaxing in the stretch, what you're going to do is actually dig your heel into the chair, like you're trying to drive your heel down to the floor, and you'll feel the back of your legs, you'll feel your hamstring actually contract. Now, you want to hold this position for at least 20 seconds. Have a rest and then do it again. The key is to maintain that active contraction in your hamstrings the whole time. What this does is it just helps train the neurological signals in your brain, the signals that go from your brain to your body, helps train them to accept that this longer length of muscle is safe. Number 3, the third thing you can do to improve your flexibility with hypermobility is what we call end range strength. Now, to do this, you really need to spend some time doing tips 1 and 2 first. You really need to spend some time just building a good base level of strength in the muscles that you want to stretch. And then you also need to spend some time doing these isometric contractions. So you're helping your body adapt to a longer length of muscle. Once you've done that, add some strength at the end range. So you take your muscle to its longest length and then you strength train it there. So middle splits is a really good example of this one. Put some ankle weights around your ankle. Lie on your back, feet up. Take your legs out to your middle split position, but with your ankle weights. Now again, instead of relaxing out there, you're actually going to draw circles with your ankles, or draw circles with your legs, with your feet in those middle splits position, because then, and you'll feel straight away, it really fires up those adductor muscles. We're adding strength to the muscle when it's as long as it can be. This is again going to help the body accept that that longer length is acceptable and safe. So there's lots of different ways you can add in range strength, but it's got to be done carefully, it's got to be done safely, and you absolutely have to make sure that you have that base of strength in the muscles built up first. I'll do another video where I go through some very specific examples of some of these. So if you're a bit confused about what I've talked about, stay tuned and I'll have some demonstrations soon.